Hi guys, so in this podcast for Goalkeeper Mindset Mastery, we're going to be talking about building confidence in your 18-yard box or your area, obviously if you play in the small-sided games. Now, I'm always going to start with the word visualization, okay, because visualization is literally everything. If you speak to any top professional goalkeeper, I will guarantee they all use the art of visualization to help them improve their goalkeeping. But please don't forget as well, guys, it's not just about visualization. What I teach and what I speak about in every one of our podcasts, yeah, I will teach how to visualize, but it's super important that you put things in practice on the training field as well, because if you just visualize and don't put the practice in, it's no good, okay? It's not going to work. Visualization and putting physical practice in, and also game situation as well, by the way, is obviously part of that physical practice. So visualization, what you will do in your mind, which I'll teach you how to do this in this podcast and all the other podcasts. Obviously you do the visualization obviously in your mind, but it's beyond important that you put everything into practice, whether that's on the training field or when you are playing, okay? Super important. So I'm just going to give you 3 tips, okay? And in most of the podcast, guys, I'm going to be giving you 3 tips on how to build your confidence, obviously within your area, because obviously a lot of goalkeepers struggle with this. And even as a professional goalkeeper, when I played many years ago, there was no mindset coaches or anything like that, so you literally just had to deal with the pressure yourself. And basically our motivation from our managers and our coaches was, as a professional player, if you make a mistake, you're out the team. That was it, guys, okay? It was absolutely brutal. So obviously it took me many years to understand these skills. Like you say, my career I was a professional goalkeeper for 10 years. My career come to an end in 1999. I started just for keepers goalkeeping schools, and I realised, and that went on to be one of the biggest goalkeeping schools in the world. I had speakers in 37 countries, but I realised for my students to have any chance of success and achieve their dreams, I had to teach them to become mentally strong as a goalkeeper. So for 25 years now, I've invested so much of my time and a lot of money, obviously getting educated on understanding the mindset, and I've actually wrote 11 books on the topic as well, guys. So it's safe to say I'm an anorak when it comes to teaching goalkeepers, obviously all about their mindsets. And one of the things that, and I've coached thousands of goalkeepers over the years, is they really worry about the 18-yard box, commanding their box or commanding their area. Obviously, it's not just the 18-yard box, obviously it's the area if it's a small-sided game. And it's, in particularly when it's set pieces, when it's corners, when also these free kicks, obviously anywhere near the area, the area obviously where the opponents can kick the ball literally straight into the area or to the penalty box. So I'm going to give you 3 tips here, guys, how to deal with this, okay? And I'll come back to visualization at the end. Tip number 1, and again it depends. Not all of you are going to be able to do this, but hopefully most of you can, especially the older keepers. You should be able to do this. So one of the best things I was taught by a goalkeeping coach, and I can't, for the love of me, I can't remember the goalkeeping coach, so I do apologise if you're listening to this, obviously, and you taught me this amazing technique. So what I used to do before every game, and I used to do this several times, so at the professional football clubs that I played for, because I only learned how to do this. I think it was when I was playing for Torquay United. I think it might have been Len Bond, the goalkeeping coach, that taught me this. So basically what I was taught to do, so I'd been a professional goalkeeper for 3 or 4 years before I learned this skill. And literally all I used to do is at least 2 or 3 times a week when we trained at the ground, I used to go onto the pitch, both ends, and spend a good 20 to 30 minutes just literally walking around my area, and then visualising, okay, standing where I should be standing for the corner. And I go to both home and away end, and literally I would do that for 2-3 times a week for an hour, 30 minutes each side. Obviously after the training session, more or less everyone's gone home. And as I say, because a lot of the clubs that I used to play for professionally, we also used to train at the facilities, or used to get changed at the facilities and then go to and drive to the training ground. So obviously it was handy that I could do this. So I would go out in the home end, the away end, and for 30 minutes I would literally just walk around the box, and I'm visualising obviously different scenarios. So I'll visualise, obviously I'll stand where for a corner coming from the left, then I'll stand from a corner coming from the right, then I'd actually visualise free kicks, 8 yards out my box, 10 yards out my box, people, having long throw-ins. Every single scenario I would be visualising, guys, and I'd be standing in my goal and I'd be looking obviously my left post, my right post, and I'm just getting a feel for my home turf. And I do that, as I say, I do that in both the home and away area. And as I say, and I would do that, guys, like I say, 2 to 3 times a week. And I promise you, it really helped me perform big time. And as I say, funny actually, probably Torquay United was sort of like the best football that I played, and I'm going to put that down to, because literally because I did this, I got told to do this by my goalkeeping coach. Basically, what happened is, in a game situation, wherever the ball was, and it's amazing, guys, when you visualize the amount of times, and I promise you this will happen to you as well, the amount of times that you will visualize as a goalkeeper in your mind, and the exact scenario will happen in a game situation. I promise you, I guarantee it'll happen time and time again. And you get a bit of a cold shiver when you go, whoa, okay, yes, because you think it's a bit magic. It's not, guys, because you've prepared. What happens is, literally, so for example, you know, if I visualise someone doing a long throw in, I visualise where I should be standing. I visualise coming for the cross or coming for the punch. And what actually happens is, when that happens in a game situation, you're sort of a split second ahead of everybody. So you're not reacting, if that makes sense. And, so you're not reacting. You're being proactive, is that the word? I don't know if that's the right word, guys, okay? But you're sort of ready for it because you've practiced it in your mind's eye. And as I say, that's where I played some of my best games, and I kept most of my clean sheets when I was playing for like the Torquay United, because, as I say, because we literally got changed the facilities every single day. I was out on the field probably it was at least 3 times a week. I'd go out after everyone went home and away, and then I just walk around the box visualising everything. Even though I'm on my own, I'd be in my flip-flops, guys, okay? As I said, I'd be out on my own, and I'd be standing in every scenario for corners, for free kicks, and also then I'd visualise as well, you know, my angles, okay? So again, when an opponent obviously was to the left of my goal, I'd be standing, you know, 3 yards off, 4 yards off. If they were, you know, a yard outside me box, I'd be visualising where it should be standing. Maybe it should be 3 yards off my line. I'd be looking at my near post, my far post. And again, I'd do it down the centre. I'd do it to the right of my goal. Literally, guys, all the scenarios, and I promise you, as I say, it just gave me the edge when I played, because I knew where I stood. In fact, I got that comfortable after I got given this tip. All the other teams that I played for, when I was actually playing, you see a lot of goalkeepers will look left or right to see where the goal was, because I was that aware of where I was when I played at home. I could actually look at the other goal and get my bearings from the other goal, rather than having to look back. Because obviously that little look back, you're breaking eye contact from the opponent. You know, you're losing that little bit of concentration. Okay, but when you look left or right, even though it could be very quickly, if that opponent shoots as you're looking to see where your near post is, and it might only be a little glance to the left or a little glance to the right. How many times as a goalkeeper have you had a little glance to the left, the opponent shot while you've not been looking, and the ball's past you before you've got time to obviously come back to obviously full concentration? So again, as I say, so for me, it really, really helped me, as I say, not only obviously know where to stand in goal for corners, for long throw-ins, for free kicks, for shots, etc., but it also helped me with my angles as well. And like I say, guys, it was very, very rare that I had to look at me near or my far post, because I did it with that. I did it that many times. I knew where to, I more or less knew where to stand, and for the most part I was right. Obviously I wasn't right all the time, guys. Sometimes I start to have a little glance to my left and right to just double check, but I'd say the majority of the times I could literally get my angles from where I was standing, obviously from the other goal, etc., because I got used to my own penalty area. Then what I used to do when I used to play away, again, obviously, you know, you can only do this for obviously you can't do this as intense if you're doing it at your home stadium or your home playing fields. But whenever I used to play away, the first thing I used to do is put my bag down and walk straight out onto the pitch before the other players were out there, and for 10 or 15 minutes I'd literally, as I say, I'd go down to one goal and I'd literally just walk around. I'd do exactly the same, obviously a bit faster, because obviously you've not got the time, you've obviously not got the time, and you're only there maybe, you know, an hour or two before. It's normally like 2 or 3 hours before kickoff. Obviously sometimes, as I say, you might not get there for like 90 minutes before kickoff, so you've sort of got to rush this. So I'd literally go down to the first goal, walk around, get me bearings again for corners, for long throw-ins, for free kicks. I more or less do quite a bit with the angles as well. I'm looking where I should be standing, to the left of my goal, centre of the goal, to the right of my goal. Then I have a little jog up to the other goal, and I would do exactly the same. Then obviously I'd warm up, and literally as soon as I finished warming up, literally about 2 or 3 minutes before I went back in with the team, obviously ready to prepare to come out and perform, I then quickly just go through my angles again. I just literally just go and stand for like 20-30 seconds to the left of my goal, check my near post, check my far post, have a good idea where my angle is. Then I'll do it in the centre of the goal as well, and then I'd also do it obviously to the right of the goal. And also as well, I know you've got to be a bit careful doing this, guys, so what I'm teaching you is a bit naughty, and again, a good referee might give you a yellow card for this, guys, but I used to sort of mark my 6-yard box as well. So it was very, very fakely mark my 6-yard box and my 18-yard box. So where my post was on my left-hand side on the 6-yard box, I'd do a little line. On the 18-yard box, I did a little line. I'd do a little line. I'd do it in the middle as well on the 6-yard box. Then you got the penalty spot. Then I'd obviously do it on the 18-yard box, and then I'd do a little line as well, just with me boots. I wouldn't do it crazily big, but just enough so I could see it. But I do this before the referee was out. Okay, yeah. So obviously, if you do it while the game's going and the ref or the linesman see you, again, obviously they could potentially give you a yellow card for that. So that's rule number 1, guys. Okay, yeah, I've gone on about it, but the reason why I've gone on about it, guys, because I promise you it will help you big time. So whether it's at your home stadium or your home playing fields, try and do it as much as you can. You know, at least once or twice a week. If you can do it 2 or 3 times a week, even better. But I will guarantee, if you can get comfortable and used to your 18-yard box, it will give you the edge when you're playing. And then when you go and play away, try and do it in each of the goals. Okay, don't wait for kick off. Do it before you actually put your kit on. Okay, yeah, just the first thing you do, drop your bag, just have a little walk around just for a few minutes, both sides of the goals, and then but in both areas. Then you go back, obviously get changed. Obviously, once you've done your warm up, again, all I would do is one more time. Again, I just check my angles. To the left of my goal, centre of my goal, and to the right of my goal. And then literally I would try and get out pretty fast for the second half. And then all I would just very quickly do, I'd put my glove bag in, and while obviously everyone's still walking onto the pitch, again, I'll just quickly just look at my angle. I'll stand by my left, the left of the goal, so I'm checking my angle to the left. Then I'll stand in the centre of my goal, checking obviously where I should be standing if shots come in. Then I go to my right, and I check the right as well. And if I can get away with it, if the refs are not out, I would do the lines again. Sometimes you might only get away with doing it on your 6-yard box, because obviously the referees come out in the lines, and you've got to be very, very careful. Obviously, what I'm teaching you to be there is a bit naughty, guys, but hey, listen, if it gives you the edge, who cares? Okay, so that's rule number 1. Okay, obviously, yeah, just walk about your area, home and away. I promise you, guys, it will give, and I'll guarantee 99.9% of goalkeepers don't know this. Their goalkeeping coaches will not teach them this. Okay, so this will give you the edge in your competition. The second thing, and this is where you need the help of your coach and your management, and again, it depends how good they are. Ask your management after every training to practice corners and free kicks, because unfortunately what a lot of managers and coaches don't do with their goalkeepers is what happens is they just throw them in at the deep end. They don't practice the corners, they don't practice free kicks, they don't practice the long throw-ins. And what's happening then as a goalkeeper, you're having to be reactive then. So the first time you're obviously experiencing that or having to do it, it's actually when it's happening in a game situation, which is a terrible place to do it, guys. And that's not your fault as a goalkeeper, by the way. That's your management's fault. Now, if you're a young goalkeeper, obviously try and get your parents to speak to your coach and the management to say, hey, listen, we've watched this video. Obviously, we're not feeling very confident around the 18-yard box or the area. This is what we've been suggested to do. At the end of each session, can we just practice some corners? For just a few minutes, practice a few free kicks, a few throw-ins. You want to be dealing with the pressure of obviously dealing with people in your area in training first, okay, not in a game situation. And again, I'm going to stress, if your management don't do that with you and you can see the goal, that's their fault, not yours, okay, because they should be giving you the option, okay, to practice it in training. Now, if you're an adult goalkeeper, that's where you've got to, as I say, guys, But goalkeepers think confidence is just about performing on the field. Obviously it is, but confidence is actually speaking up for yourself. Now, I struggled with this as a professional goalkeeper. I never learned actually to become confident until after my playing days, and I actually understood and learned and read many books. I just wish I could go back with this mindset, guys. It would have been so much easier for me. I made life so much difficult for myself because I was too quiet. So please don't make the same mistake as myself. As I say, just whether or not, you don't have to be arrogant or nasty. Go up to the management and say, hey, look, I've been listening to a podcast, obviously from Ray Newland and GK Mastery and J4K, etc. And look, I'm really a bit, I'm sort of struggling with set pieces, with corners, obviously free kicks, etc. I need to practice. Okay, so at the end of each session, listen, can we just do 5 to 10 minutes of corners and free kicks? Now, if any coach or management have got anything about them, they'll be appreciative. They're like, yeah, brilliant, thanks for asking. If they say no to that, guys, okay, again, just basically say to them, okay, not a problem, okay, but listen, if I let any goals in from the corners or from set pieces, you do know, listen, it's your fault as the coach and the management, not mine, okay? So as long as we're clear on that, okay, because I need to make any mistakes in training, okay, yeah, not in a game situation, okay, yeah? So I'm just letting you know that, okay? So as goalkeepers, so you need to stand up for yourself. Again, so the second point you need to do is you need to practice the pressure situations in training. Corners, I say free kicks, long throw-ins, etc. As I say, because you want to practice it as many, literally, honestly, after every single training session. If your coach and management will let you do it, you need to be doing it after every training session, because this is where most goalkeepers really sort of struggle with the confidence, and they get a bit nervous and a bit scared. I did as a professional goalkeeper, guys. There's nothing worse when you're standing for the corner and you've got obviously people standing around you, especially if you've not practiced that in training. You're thinking, where do I stand? And that's why most goalkeepers let goals in for corners and set pieces. It's not their fault. It's the management's fault. It's the coach's fault, because they should be practicing in training. They should be telling their defenders where to stand, etc. That's not your job as a goalkeeper. It's your job to remind them, hey, listen, this one, you need to stand there. That's what the coach said. So it's not your job. A lot of managements will say, a lot of coaches and managers leave it to the goalkeeper to say, hey, you sort the defense out. No, it's your responsibility as a coach. You tell the defenders where they should be standing, who they should be marking, etc. You practice that in training. Then it's the goalkeeper's job to remind the defenders, hey, you should be standing there, not there. Okay, yeah. So management or coaches, if you're watching this, please, okay, don't be like the majority of coaches and management who don't practice this, okay, yeah, because if your goalkeeper concedes a goal or your team does, it's your fault, not the team. And last but not least as well, when you are, so that's obviously tip number 2, try and practice it under pressure. And tip number 3 is more or less the same as well. So when you're doing the pressure, obviously when you're practicing set pieces, the corners, obviously the free kicks coming in as well, over communicate, okay? So you don't have, so what I mean over communicate, because I'm a massive believer, and I'll do another video on this as well, that goalkeepers are taught to talk all the time. That's a massive mistake. You should not be talking all the time as a goalkeeper. You should be talking at the right times, okay? I've done another video on it, another podcast, guys. Go and watch it, okay? I'll guarantee if you're quiet as a goalkeeper, that will help you. If you talk too much as a goalkeeper, that's actually worse than not talking at all, believe it or not. That podcast will help you as well. You've got to talk at the right times. But in training, just over communicate, because all you're doing in training is you're just getting used to communicating, because most goalkeepers, okay, they are shy. Listen, don't be worried if you're shy, guys. 99% of goalkeepers are shy, they're underconfident, as I say, and you can develop this skill, you can develop your confidence, guys. There's techniques to do it, and we obviously teach this in our online school, the Goalkeeper Mindset Mastery School. And it's like if you want to improve your goal kicks, these techniques to improve your goal kicks, it's the same with practicing your mindset, these techniques for you to become bulletproof as a goalkeeper. And I promise you, 99% of goalkeepers don't get taught this by their goalkeeping coaches. That's because their goalkeeping coaches don't understand it themselves. So if you learn this skill, I promise you, you'll be ahead of 99% of your competition. And I promise you, if these two goalkeepers going head to head and they're more or less the same ability, the goalkeeper with the confidence will always win. I've seen it happen too many times, guys. So confidence for me is the most important thing that you need to master. And sadly, 99% of goalkeeping coaches, and I know personally hundreds of goalkeeping coaches, and 99% of them don't teach this vital success trait. That's because most of them sadly don't understand it themselves. But as I say, going back to the third one is communicate, over communicate. So going back to when you're practicing the crosses in training or the set pieces in training, just get used to just talking to all your defenders. You know, as I say, over communicate, because all you're doing is getting used to communicating in a game situation. Again, go and watch my other video on how to communicate correctly in a game situation. As I say, I teach you how to communicate at the right times, because the most important person you should be speaking to in a game, believe it or not, is yourself. Okay, yeah, seriously, you should be speaking to yourself literally 100% of the time. Okay, obviously the only time when you don't speak to yourself is obviously when you're shouting instructions or instructions or comments or encouragement to your teammates. Okay, but over communicate. So you've got to make sure, you know, as I say, when you're doing a set piece for a corner, for example, if your left back's called John, you know, hey John, make sure you're on the near post, and the back of your on the back post is, you know, Joanne, you know what I mean? Hey Joanne, you're on that? Yeah, you're on the back post, cool, fantastic. And your two centre backs, okay, have you got them picked up? Brilliant, fantastic, well done, brilliant Stevie, well done Ray, brilliant, keep them picked up, well done, fantastic. Now you won't do that in a game situation, by the way, okay, yeah, again, watch my podcast on how to communicate correctly, but what you're doing is you're getting used to communicating. Okay, and the more you communicate in training, it becomes second nature in a game situation. So obviously these more guys, okay, more tips, but I'm just going to stick to those 3 tips, okay, yeah. First one is walk about your goal, okay, especially at your home stadium or your home pitches. Get used to, obviously, your area. I guarantee, guys, I promise you, it will help you big time. When you go to an away game, try as fast as you can. I would say before you even warm up, if you can, just go and spend a few minutes in each area. Obviously, and all you do is what you do at the home stadium or your home pitch. Obviously, you just got to do it a bit faster. Okay. Tip number 2. Ask your coaches. You've got to practice these pressure situations in set play. Long throw-ins, corners, free kicks, etc. Free kicks that are curling in towards you, free kicks that are curling away. So you need to go and have a word at your coach to make sure that you practice obviously these set pieces in training. And the third one, guys, is while you're practicing, just over communicate. Okay, yeah. Remember, you won't be doing this in a game situation. Just by over communicating, guys, like I say, it'll build your confidence up, because the more you're talking to your defenders and your defenders give you the thumbs up, and they're successful because because you gave them the right advice, they're going to go, oh Ray, brilliant, that Ray, thanks for that advice, and that'll build you up as a goalkeeper. Obviously, the more thumbs up that you get from your teammates. Okay, yeah. So they're the 3 things that you need to focus on, guys. So that's how you can build your confidence up. Okay. Commanding your area. Okay, yeah. So I hope that helps. And then also as well, sorry guys, last but not least, going back to visualization. I'm always going to start with visualization and end with visualization. So whatever set pieces that you practice in training, okay, or even if you don't get time to practice a certain set piece in training, visualize it in your mind, guys. Okay, yeah, I promise you. Okay, it sounds crazy when, as I say, people think this is some type of taboo subject. I promise you, every professional goalkeeper will practice the art of visualization. It's basically daydreaming on steroids. Okay, visualize every scenario that you can over and over and over in your mind, and obviously you'll put it into practice in training, but again, still visualize it all the time. And I promise you guys, okay, if you visualize all the time and then you put that thing, what you're visualizing, into physical practice, I guarantee you, I promise you, you'll have the edge on 99% of your competition. If you do this for like 3 months, I promise you, you'll see a massive difference in your game. If it's your goalkeeping child, you'll see a massive difference in your goalkeeping child. If it's your students, if you're a goalkeeping coach, a massive difference in your goalkeeping students. Because unfortunately, sadly, 99% of goalkeepers don't get taught this vital skill. And if you want a vital success rate, and it's crazy really, because if you ask any goalkeeping coach, hey, name 3 vital things a goalkeeper needs to develop to have any chance of achieving their goalkeeping dreams, I'll guarantee they'll all say different things, but I'll guarantee if a goalkeeping coach, if they know what they're talking about, they'll all mention mental toughness, got to be mentally strong as a goalkeeper. Are you teaching it? No. So for me, that's what it can be a bit frustrating, to be honest with you, because I say goalkeeping coaches understand Their students need to be mentally strong as a goalkeeper, but they don't teach this vital piece of the jigsaw. That's why we do the Goalkeeper Mindset Mastery podcast. That's why we do our Goalkeeper Mindset online schools, and we go live every 2 weeks to do all the exercises with our students to help them become mentally strong and bulletproof as a goalkeeper. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Remember, visualize and also put it into practice, and I'll guarantee you'll have the edge on 99% of the goalkeepers in your league. See you in the next episode.